Welcome back to Alphablocked. At the end of last episode, I purchased 1,400 U-logs with the intention of cutting them, spinning some bowstrings, stringing them, and alching them. And I did just that. And then I took that money that I got from doing all that and purchased more U-logs. 4,100 more, to be precise. And then I cut those, spun some bowstrings, strung them, and alched them to get to here. Level 75 magic. We can now wield, well, all the staffs. But we're going to be focusing on the one that we have. As you might expect, doing all this was highly profitable. So we now have 2.3 million gold. So that's very cool. And we can grab our trident out. Look at that. How fancy. One fun thing that we get to do, since this is a trident of the seas. Well, I think most tridents would have worked either way, but this is specifically called Trident of the Seas Full. But that full is just the placeholder for 2,500. Once you cast one spell, it just becomes Trident of the Seas. But still, a number of charges in the item called Trident of the Seas. One thing we need to be careful of, if we were to use this right now, would be trying to avoid using every single charge. Because then, instead of being called Trident of the Seas Empty or something, it actually changes names to Uncharged Trident. And as much as that is just the same thing with a different charge, it has a different name, so I'm going to say that counts as a different item. But now that is unlocked. And that is significantly stronger than Fire Strike or whatever we were using. Not good experience. But if we wanted more magic experience, we could just, like, make or buy more U-long bows. So, not too worried about that. The more magic levels we get, the stronger the trident will be for us. So, that is something to be aware of. And now that unlocking things from last round is done, we are back on target to finish a quest. I have used the Anger Sword to kill the unicorn, and it spawned a bear. So we will see if this continues to work how it should. The unlock, Anger Spear. Now if we kill these bears and unicorns come, and we can continue switching back and forth between those two, that is all we need to finish this quest. If something else spawns, and we need a third anger weapon, that's going to put this on hold for quite some time. Yep, a unicorn came back. So it seems at least those two are connected. But what of the second bear? Or the first bear, I guess, rather. Will we see another unicorn? And we do indeed. Perfect. So that should mean we can switch back and forth between the sword and the spear to finish the anger room and continue on through this little quest. With this final problem taken care of, there's no other hurdles in our way for finishing a Soulsbane. We are level 83 combat, so I think we can take this on. Even brought an anti-poison. That's how prepared we are here. So I'm going to breeze my way through this and come back for the quote-unquote boss fight. There's Tolna. Looking as good as ever. 3 headed tentacle things. He's level 46. Oh no, I've been poisoned. Luckily we have another sip of anti-poison here. That takes care of that problem. Yep. Not much of a boss fight. And he's back. Hey, Tolna. I did it. So ultimately, this quest ended up requiring a rope and 2 anger weapons. That is still very much on the low side of required items. 1 quest point, some coins, and 1,000 total XP. A quest point is a quest point. Very good. Before I move on to the next unlock, I'm going to do a bit of fishing. Bit of cooking. Upgrade my low tier run around food from trout to salmon. Go away. Fishing time. A nice bit of cooking and fishing later. 60 fishing, 62 cooking, and a nice big old pile of trout and salmon. That amount of trout was enough to get me to the level where I would not be able to burn salmon on the Hosidius range. So that worked out pretty well. Now it is time for one of the final big unlocks. I checked in with Hans, and this is a moment 271 hours in the making. Starting with the letter B, we're gonna buy ourselves bird snares. And with that, we have unlocked the hunter skill. Raw bird meat, orange feathers. It's time to get our hunting on. At the copper longtails. With that, we have a training method for every single skill. Now, granted, our rune crafting training method is air runes, so that needs some work, but it's physically possible. And that means, though it might be painful to do so, we can get anywhere we want to. Now it's just a matter of unlocking new training methods, new areas, that kind of stuff. Technically, we could max. Not gonna do that. That'd be a process. I have other goals in mind. But since we've unlocked it, let's go train some hunter. Bird hunting continues to be as terrible as it has always been. But there's 29 hunter. We can now trap swamp lizards once we unlock swamp lizards. That's probably what we're gonna do for any future hunter training. Orange birds. Not the best XP rates. It did get a bit better at level 20 for 2 traps, but still, really bad. So we won't be doing this again. Unless we need hunter for something, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. So we can move on to other things. I purchased and alked another 1,000 longbows. Made a little bit of money, a little bit of magic experience. That's gonna probably be a thing that keeps happening whenever I have time to just sit and click a button in the same place over and over again. But now it's time to unlock some more items. Useful for at least a few quests and a potential training method. It's cosmic runes. The training method, in this case, would be ZMI rune crafting. But to do that, we of course need to unlock all the different kinds of runes. And we're not doing a bad job. We got all these. We're missing blood, body, astral, and soul, I think. That's not too bad for a much better rune crafting method than air runes. Not that I know how good ZMI is at 20 rune crafting, but that's a problem for later. We got the cosmic runes, and that's better than not having cosmic runes, so that's good. For D, I'm gonna get a combat upgrade of the dragon variety. Specifically, dragon boots. Now we have a nice variety of boot options. Yellow, Infinity, and Dragon. Infinity are obviously the right choice for when we're doing magic attacks. Yellow has 1 slash and 1 crush defense. And Dragon has a lot more defense and melee strength. So that officially means that yellow boots... I mean, technically yellow boots are best in slot when using ranged and also taking... Well, no, not really. I mean, we could wear these when ranging, but basically the Infinity would be just as good. I don't think we're really going to be ever in a situation where we would range and be taking melee hits. And -1 range defense for all that extra melee defense, Dragon Boots would probably be better anyways. If we were, for some reason, ranging while tanking damage and not using prayer. Yeah, Dragon Boots. 4 melee strength, that's very good to have. a very cost-effective upgrade. That starts with D. Moving into Slayer unlocks, we're going to get ourselves some earmuffs. Useful for banshees, of course, and eventually a Slayer helmet. It will keep my ears nice and warm and provide absolutely no defensive stats. That's okay. They're not really here for the defensive stats. They're here for the defensive effect that they have. And also, in the Slayer department, it's not available on the Grand Exchange. Silly Grand Exchange. Not having all the things. We're over here with Vanaka, because we're going to buy some fishing explosives. Whether or not we ever need to fight a Mogre, that is a question. But if we ever need to, we now can? Maybe not. Probably need to do the mini quest first. Or something. I don't know. That's part of it, I guess. Now we're going to head over here to Berthorpe to get our next item, starting with the letter G. Last time, we picked up the Graceful Top. So this is going to be more of the same. It's why we would come to Berthorpe, so really should not be too surprised by this whole thing. We're going to trade Grace. Pick up the Graceful Legs. Also, pet the dog. You pet the dog, he rolls over a little bit so you can rub his belly. I pet the dog again. Yes. Graceful Legs. That's the top and the legs. A solid amount of weight reduction and run regeneration, which would be helpful, potentially, for the next thing we're going to do. Back in Relaka to actually complete one of the steps. Talking here to Sigley the Huntsman. And we're going to fight the Dragon. But to do so, we need a special talisman. And the talisman's name is Hunter's Talisman. It's over here, starting with the letter H. That's what we needed. So now I'm going to take my Dragon Boots and my Graceful and try to find this Dragon. This can always be a little bit of a process. I don't know if I've ever seen the Dragon this far south. Fascinating. But we managed to find him pretty quickly. We got Protect from melee, so no threat whatsoever. And we got the essence in the talisman. That was easy. Sigley is going to be very impressed when he recommends us to become honorary Fremnik. Much unlike Pier the Seer, who has seen us go in and attempt his puzzle like 5 times now or something. It's getting a little bit silly up there. But yeah, there we go. One part of this puzzle completed. Next up, a string of items that are a little bit less useful. I guess technically this first one might be a quest item. It's insect repellent. Might need that to get the wax or something. I don't know. The active trade price is a lot higher than the GD price. But nobody really needs to purchase insect repellent. We probably could have just picked this up from the spawn. It's not something you really need a lot of, to be fair. 1,000 coins for an insect repellent. That's fine. Didn't bank the hunter talisman. That's okay. It was quick. Well, there's insect repellent. We can now repel some insects, I guess. J and K are even less useful. We're gonna pick ourselves up a jade ring. So we've got a jade. We've got an uncut jade. Now we have a jade ring, which would be significantly more useful if we had a ring mold and a silver bar. Because currently, we can't make the jade ring. It's just something that starts with J. I'm pretty much just going down the list at this point. Not too many things that start with J that are very useful for me. And that is a similar story with K. Last time, we bought a seed we're never going to plant. And now, since we're never going to plant it, we need to get the resource from it. So here are Crandorian hops. Yep, starts with a K. That's all I needed. Maybe someday we'll figure out what you can brew with Crandorian hops. Maybe we'll want to do that, but probably not. It's technically progress in the unlocking things department, if nothing else. For the letter L, we're going to get something that's actually going to help us a little bit right now. It's the lit bug lantern. And with that, we can head back to Slayer. With our new and improved Dragon Boots, Full Void Melee, Whip, Lit Bug Lantern, Glory, and a Zamrak Cape, which has a tiny, tiny melee defense, I guess. This is the outfit of champions going off to do some Slayer. Oh boy, it's Harpy Bug Swarms. Not too much to say about Harpy Bug Swarms, besides that we can now kill them with our Lit Bug Lantern. So that is Slayer task number 15. Let's see if we can get this to 20. Or if we're going to run into anything else difficult. Well, this is super convenient. Our next task is cockatrice. But I'm going to need some equipment. Namely, the mirror shield. And we just so happen to be currently on M. So there you go. The mirror shield. Nifty. This worked out very well. I grabbed a nice inventory full of cockatrice drops that I don't get to keep. But since I'm there, might as well pick some stuff up. We do get to keep the Emerald, the Sapphire, and the Nature Runes, though, so it wasn't a complete loss. But just look at all these Limpet Roots. I can't just leave a whole bunch of Limpet Roots to despawn. That'd be inhumane. Or something. Slayer. The Mirror Shield continues to come in clutch. Basilisk Task. A little pile of stuff we don't get. But I did get to pick up 52 Nature Runes and 2 Ranars, so that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Task 17. That was a pretty long Ice Warriors task. 114 of them. Managed to get a decent supply of runes. And some blood runes, which we don't actually have unlocked yet, so that goes into the not having this pile. Ended up having to prayer flick a little bit of that. That's okay. Got it done in one trip. Just barely. That is task 18. Task 19 was cow fight. Killed the workers. Very few drops. But it works. Nice, quick task. But now, next up is task 20. So we're going to go see if Konar has something interesting for us. Things could get complicated here. What do you say, Konar? 154 trolls south of Mount Quidamortem. I can get there. I can kill trolls. Doable. But I think we're going to leave that for later. That's a good bit of Slayer done here. So I'm going to move on to continuing to unlock things. The list of useful things that start with N that we could unlock is getting very low. There are some letters that we are just not in a position to get useful things right now. That's okay. Because that means we get to pick up this. We are purchasing nunchucks. Let me purchase the nunchucks. Come on. I know they're probably not a frequently traded item. There we go. 10,000 coins for some nunchucks. They're not useful as a weapon, but they are useful for fashion and adventure. Beautiful. Perfect. You know what? I think we're going to use the nunchucks, along with the rest of our melee setup. This is going to look great. Zamorak Mage Cape. Glory. Yep, that is the look of a warrior who's about to go complete a quest. Let's unlock the last item that we need to complete the Corsair Curse. The Ogre Artifact. In reality, it is a toothpick, but that's why it's not part of the curse. So we will return this to its rightful owner and get ready for the boss fight. Here we go. Ithoi the Navigator versus full void melee and nunchucks. Things that always happen. That's definitely a thing that everybody uses. These are not a strong weapon. But he uses magic, and I'm wearing full void with excellent magic defense. So this battle is in the bag. It should hit twice. I have 2 nunchucks, I should hit twice. Same thing with Thorax hammers. I did it. That is problem solved. Over here. With the Corsairs. So let's go turn in this quest and get our rewards. Captain Talk. He's dead. Problem solved. 2 quest points and access to the bank here. Nothing complicated. Nothing extra that we need to unlock the reward. We're just over here, able to use this bank. So that's nice. Next up, more questing. But first, an incredibly important item to unlock. Unless I feel like prayer flicking everything forever, we would need something of this nature. So I'm going to get myself prayer potions. Relatively expensive, but that'll work for restoring my prayer in situations where I might want to do so. Also, we didn't bank the ogre artifact, or no, the ogre. Yeah, we didn't. That's another note to make for the end here, but prayer potions. We can now restore our prayer. Might want to get a higher prayer level, just so the prayer potions restore more. That's a thought. But now, back to questing. We will see if I remember to put this in the video in the right order. But I'm going to talk about Q now. We can't get anything that starts with Q now. That's it. Using the key named just key, we can unlock this door and grab ourselves a rubber tube. The skeleton. Oh, now you're aggressive. I stole your tube. What are you gonna do about it? That is 2 of the 3 items to finish Ernest the Chicken. Very good. But we can't finish that just yet, due to the last item we need. So instead, I'm gonna go finish a different quest. Okay. Now, we can unlock something that starts with S. If we talk to this fellow, we can give them their totem back. And we are rewarded with swordfish and thieving experience. Swordfish starts with S. The more you know. They're a bit cheaper than monkfish. They heal a bit less, but more than salmon, so we've got options now. Also, you need a swordfish for family crest, So that's good too. With that, our quest points is at 30. Too shy of being able to start Dragon Slayer. Not bad. Making progress. Our tea item for today is potentially a quest item. Depending on how things go, you may or may not need tomato. So if we need it, we got it. Now we can do other tomato-based activities, I guess. I don't know what we would do with a tomato. We could drop tomatoes all over the place. I don't know. It started with tea, and that's all I needed. Next up, we're going to preempt this problem from ever happening. And we're going to uncharge our Trident of the Seas. We don't get the coins back, but it's like 25k. That's fine. I've uncharged my Trident, creating the uncharged Trident. Ta-da! It's a Trident with 0 charges, but it has a different name, so there you go. And it also shares the slot here. Can't have a Trident and an uncharged Trident. Interesting. Maybe if we got a second Trident. Let's see if we put the full Trident in. Yep, it just uses that slot. Okay. That makes it feel more like it would be one item. Since we got the whole it goes in both slots thing going on, but either way, that is just a quirk of the placeholder system. It starts with a different letter. I'm gonna count it. Next up, we are returning to our roots for the letter V. Here comes another piece of Void equipment. We're gonna get the Void Knight Mace. Because why not? Because why not? Ta-da! Very useful. Not really. It can autocast Claws of Guthics. That's something. It's not much, but it's something. It's less since we have a Trident, but Void Knight Mace. Starts with a V and doesn't afraid of anything. Next up, an item that will allow us entry to a whole new place. I'm getting a water talisman. Now, we could just go through the abyss by unlocking that. Or we could just have a water talisman. Water altar, here I come. If I need to go there. You need to go to the water altar a few times. And being able to do so without going through the wilderness, that's a useful thing to have. Water talisman. It is now that time of the episode where we consider the possibility of doing challenge mode raids. We have full access to the Trident of the Seas, and Dragon Boots, and even Prayer Potions. But I don't think that's quite enough. Our range level is still 42, and our weapon choice is iron knives. So, I don't think challenge mode, Chambers of Xeric, I don't think we're quite there yet. So we will move on to Y. I don't know if this is going to be useful, since we already have the things that you would need this for. But I'm going to get yak hide. We already have both of the yak hide armor pieces. But if part of the quest requires me to pick up the yak hide or whatever, we've got it now. One less potential problem in the future. And let's be honest, there's not too many good Y things left. So, not a huge deal. But our last item today is pretty good. Pretty big deal. Good to have around. We are continuing the theme of everything that we buy, starting with Z, is of a Zamorak item. This round, we're getting the cloak. The Zamorak cloak. Not to be confused with the Zamorak cape. This one has 10 magic accuracy, 10 magic defense, and a little bit of melee defense. This one has more defense, except for magic, and 3 prayer. So if I'm not doing magic attacks or taking magic attacks, the cloak is much better. Plus 3 prayer bonus. Can't complain about that. We'll slot that over here. To wrap things up for this round, and to make this a more accurate number, I'm going to offload the Slayer drops that I can't have. We got runes, we got rune, and a variety of things. Turn that all back to how it should be. So here's a nice inventory of stuff that we don't get to have. 75,000 coins. That would have been nice, but it's not a huge deal. So I'm going to trade myself. Hello, me. Oh, there's somebody. Yeah, there we go. Offer all of this. A put everything from your inventory button would not be a bad idea. But there we go. 75,000 coins. Here you go, me. Thank you, me. You're welcome, me. Yay. And now, this number will be accurate. Total bank value, 8.82 mil. And the marks of grace are becoming less and less of a big part of our bank. Of course, the graceful pieces still exist. Those are also valuable. But that's pretty much the amylase value of that, I believe. So, really, that's not real bank value, since 1, we're not going to sell our graceful for amylase, and 2, we can't because we haven't unlocked amylase. But still, doing pretty solid on our bank value. 2.4 mil cash. Easily added to by alching a whole bunch of stuff. Magic level, very close to the next level. Almost 77. we got a defense and a strength level at pest control. Close to a hit points level. Combat level 83 still. So, that's something. We finished 3 quests this round. That's pretty good. 30 quest points. Very solid. Stats are looking very nice. And they can all go up now whenever we want to. We've got a good pile of money. And access to all the skills. Oh yeah. Looking good. But now, it's time to start unlocking the money-making method that I've been working towards. It's going to take a little bit to fully unlock the capabilities. But that new chapter starts next time. Goodbye.